In this problem, we're asked to find the Fourier coefficients for the waveform shown below. We can see our waveform there. Has two levels, one at 2 and one at 4. And if we look at the function, basically we can see that the function repeats every 6 seconds. So t0 is equal to 6. So omega naught 2 pi over t naught 2 pi over 6 pi over 3 radians per second. So now we need to proceed to do our calculations. So C0, 1 over T0, the integral from T1 to T1 plus T0 v of t dt. So now if we look, we have 1 over 6. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and I'm going to integrate from minus 2 out to 4. So from minus 2 to 1, the function has a value of 4. Then from minus 1 to 1, the function has a value of 2. And then from 1 to 2, the function has a value of 4. Okay, so we have 1/6. This term becomes 4 times 1. Here we have 2 times 2 plus 4 times 1 again. So now we get 12 over 6 or 2. So C0, or the average value for this function, is 2. So now we can calculate the C sub n's. C sub n is 1 over T0, the integral from T1 to T1 plus T0 v of t e to the minus j n omega naught t dt. So now, and we already calculated omega naught. So now C sub n becomes 1/6, and now we have the integral from minus 2 to minus 1 of 4 e to the minus j n pi over 3t dt, plus the integral from minus 1 to 1 2 e to the minus j n pi over 3t dt. And then we have the integral from 1 to 2 of 4 e to the minus j n pi over 3t dt. So now it's just basically a matter of doing the integration. So we still have 1/6. Okay, and this becomes 4 over minus j n pi over 3 e to the minus j n pi over 3t, evaluated from minus 2 to minus 1. So there's the first term. The next term we have 2 over minus j n pi over 3 e to the minus j n pi over 3t, evaluated from minus 1 to 1. And then we have 4 over minus j n pi over 3 e to the minus j n pi over 3t, evaluated from 1 to 2. So now we notice we've got this common term here, n pi over 3, and if we pull that out front with the 1/6, we get a 1 over minus j n 2 pi. Plugging in, here we have 4 times e to the j n pi over 3 minus e to the minus e to the j 2 pi n over 3. So that's plugging in the limits up here. Then plugging in the limits for this term, we'll have 2 times, we'll have e to the minus j n pi over 3 minus e to the j n pi over 3. And then plugging in the limits of this last term, we'll have 4. We'll have e to the minus j n 2 pi over 3 minus e to the minus j n pi over 3. So that completes the integration and plugging in the limits. Now we're going to have to kind of work on these terms some. So let's rewrite. So now we have 1 over minus j 2 pi n. We have 4 e to the minus j n pi over 3 minus 4 e to the j n 2 pi over 3 plus 2 e to the minus j n pi over 3 minus 2 e to the minus j, or just e to the j n pi over 3 plus 4 e to the minus j n 2 pi over 3 minus 4 e to the minus j n pi over 3. Okay. So now if we go in and collect terms, and if we look, we have this term and this term are both j n pi over 3, so we combine those two together, we get 2 e to the j n pi over 3. Now we have minus j n pi over 3, and that, so this, we take these two and combine them, we get a minus 2 e to the minus j n pi over 3. Now we have this term, we have minus 4 e to the j 2 pi n over 3, and then we have plus 4 e to the minus j n 2 pi over 3. Okay, so we broke it down to 4 terms. Now let's go in and take the minus sign in. So now we have 1 over j 2 pi n. And what this leaves us with is 2 e to the minus j n pi over 3 minus 2 e to the j n pi over 3. And this becomes 4 e to the j 2 pi n over 3 minus 4 e to the minus j 2 pi n over 3. Now, if we remember that sine x can be written as e to the jx minus e to the minus jx over j2. Now if we look, we've got some terms here very similar to this, and if we pull this j2 in, we can rewrite this as 1 over n pi. So now I'm pulling the j2 in, so I'll have first, I'll have 4, I'll have e to the j 2 pi n over 3 minus e to the minus j 2 pi n over 3, all divided by j2. So that takes care of those two terms. Then I have minus 2, I'll have e to the j n pi over 3 minus e to the minus j n pi over 3 over j2. So basically, what I have here is a sine term. Okay. So we rewrite this, we'll have 1 over n pi times 4 times the sine 2 pi n over 3 minus 2 times the sine of n pi over 3. And we can rewrite that as 2 over n pi. We'll have 2 times the sine of 2 pi n over 3 minus the sine of n pi over 3.